Shalom, shalom. Today will be Numbers 21 through 25. We'll just jump right into it today. Chapter 21. And the sovereign of Arad, the Canaanite, who dwelt in the south, heard that Israel was coming on the way to Atharim, and he fought against Israel and took some of them captive. Then Israel made a vow to Yahweh and said, If you deliver this people into my hand indeed, then I shall put their cities under the ban. And Yahweh listened to the voice of Israel and gave up the Canaanites, and they put them and their cities under the ban. So the name of that place was called Hormah. And after they departed from Mount Hor by the way of the Sea of Reeds to go around the land of Edom, and they departed from Mount Hor by the way of Sea of Reeds to go around the land of Edom. But the being of the people grew impatient because of the way, and the people spoke against Elohim and against Moshe. Why have you brought us up out of Mitzrayim to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and our being loathes this light bread. And Yahweh sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and many of the people of Israel died. Then the people came to Moshe and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against Yahweh and against you. Pray to Yahweh to take away the serpents from us. So Moshe prayed on behalf of the people. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole. And it shall be that everyone who is bitten, when he looks at it, shall live. So Moshe made a bronze serpent and put it on a pole. And it came to be, if a serpent had bitten anyone, when he looked at the bronze serpent, he lived. And the children of Israel set out and camped at Oboth. And they departed from Oboth and camped at Aviram, in the wilderness which is set of Moab toward sunrise. From there they set out and camped at the Wadi Zered. From there they set out and camped on the other side of the Arnon, which is in the wilderness that extends from the border of the Amorites from the Arnon and the border. For the Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Therefore it is said in the book of the battles of Yahweh, Waheb and Suphah, the Wadi Arnon. On the slope of the wadi that turns aside of the dwelling of Ar and lies on the border of Moab, and from there to Beer, and from there on to Beer, which is the well where Yahweh said to Moshe, Gather the people and let me give them water. Israel then sang the song, Spring up, O well, sing to it. A well the leaders sank, which the nobles of the people dug with their staves by the word of the inscriber. Then from the wilderness onto the Matana, from Matana to Nahaliel, from Nahaliel to Bemoth, from Bemoth in the valley that is in the country of Moab to the top of the Pisgah which looks down on the wasteland. And Israel sent messengers to Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, saying, Let me pass through your land. We shall not turn off into fields or vineyards. We shall not drink water from wells, but go by the sovereign's highway until we have passed over your border. But Sihon would not allow Israel to pass through his border. So Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel in the wilderness, and he came to Yahatz and fought against Israel. And Israel struck him at the edge of the sword, and Israel struck him with the edge of the sword, and took possession of his land from the Arnon to the Yabok, as far as the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was strong. And Israel took all the cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon and in all its villages. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the sovereign of the Amorites, who had fought against the former sovereign of Moab, and had taken all his land from his hand as far as the Arnon. That is why those who speak in the proverbs say, Come to Heshbon, let the city of Sihon be built and established. For fire went out from Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, the masters of the heights of the Arnon. Woe to you, Moab! You have perished, O people of Chemosh. He has given his sons as fugitives, and his daughters into captivity, to Sihon, the sovereign of the Amorites. Then we shot them. Heshbon has perished as far as Dibon, and we laid waste as far as Nophah, which reaches to Medeba. So Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and sent Moshe sent to spy out Izir, and they took its villages and drove out the Amorites who were there, and turned and went up by the way of Bashan, and Og, sovereign of Bashan, went out against him, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Do not fear him, for I have given him into your hand, with all his people and his land, and you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon. And they struck him and his sons and all his people, until no remnant was left to him, and they took possession of his land. And the children of Israel set out and camped in the desert plains of Moab beyond the Yarden of Jericho. And Balak son of Tisfor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites, and Moab was exceedingly afraid. And Moab was exceedingly afraid of the people, because they were many, and Moab was in dread because of the children of Israel. And Moab said to the elders of Midian, Now this company is licking up all that is around us, as an ox licks up the grass in the field. Now Balak son of the Tispor was sovereign of the Moabites at that time, and he sent messengers to Balaam son of Beor at Pethor, which is near the river in the land of the sons of his people, to call him, saying, See, a people has come from Mitzrayim. See, they have covered the surface of the land, and are settling next to me. And now please, come at once, curse this people for me, for they are too strong for me. It might be that I strike them and drive them out of the land, for I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed. And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian left with the fees for divination in their hand, and came to Balaam, and spoke the words of Balak to him. And he said to them, Spend the night here, and I shall bring back word to you as Yahweh speaks to me. So the heads of Moab stayed with Balaam. So Balaam is a prophet, basically, of Yahweh. And Elohim, capital E, came to Balaam and said, Who are these men with you? And Balaam said to Elohim, Balak, son of Tispor, sovereign of Moab, has sent to me, saying, See, a people has come out of Mitzrayim, and covered the surface of the land. Come now, curse them for me. It might be that I am able to fight against them and drive them out. And Elohim said to Balaam, Do not go with them. You do not curse the people, for they are blessed. And Balaam rose in the morning and said to the heads of Balak, Go back to your land, for Yahweh has refused to allow me to go with you. And the heads of Moab arose and went to Balak, and said, Balaam refuses to come with us. Then Balak sent heads, more numerous and more esteemed than they. And they came to Balaam and said to him, This is what Balak son of Tispor said, Do not be withheld from coming to me, please, for I esteem you very greatly, and whatever you say to me, I do. Therefore, please come, curse this people for me. And Balaam answered and said to the servant of Balak, Though Balak were to give me his house filled with silver and gold, I am unable to go beyond the word of Yahweh my Elohim, to do less or more. And now, please, you also stay here tonight, and let me find out what more Yahweh says to me. And Elohim came to Balaam at night and said to him, If the men come to call you Rise and go with him, but only the word which I speak to you that you do. And Balaam rose in the morning, and sat on his donkey, and went with the heads of Moab. But the displeasure of Elohim burned because he went, and the messenger of Elohim stationed himself in the way as an adversary against him. And he was riding on his donkey, and his two servants were with him. And the donkey saw the messenger of Yahweh standing in the way with him. And the donkey saw the messenger of Yahweh standing in the way with his sword drawn, with his drawn sword. Goodness gracious words. I'll tell you what, we'll try it one more time. Let me have a sip of the coffee and we'll try it one more time. Take two. And the donkey saw the messenger of Yahweh standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand. And the donkey turned aside out of the way and went into the field. So Balaam struck the donkey to turn her back onto the way. Then the messenger of Yahweh stood in a narrow passage between the vineyards, with a wall on this side and a wall on that side. When the donkey saw the messenger of Yahweh, she pushed herself against the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall, so he struck her again. And the messenger of Yahweh went further and stood in a narrow place, where there was no way to turn aside, right or left. And when the donkey saw that the messenger of Yahweh, and when the donkey saw the messenger of Yahweh, she lay down under Balaam, so Balaam's displeasure burned, and he struck the donkey with his staff. Then Yahweh opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, What have I done to you, that you have stricken me these 3 times? And Balaam said to the donkey, Because you have mocked me, I wish there was a sword in my hand, for I would have killed you by now. And the donkey said to Balaam, Am I not your donkey on which you have ridden ever since I became yours to this day? Was I ever known to do so to you? And he said, No. Then Yahweh opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the messenger of Yahweh standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand. And he bowed his head, and he fell on his face. And the messenger of Yahweh said to him, Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? See, I have come out to stand against you, because your way is reckless before me. And the donkey saw me, and turned aside from me these 3 times. If she had not turned aside from me, I certainly would have killed you by now, and let her live. And Balaam said to the messenger of Yahweh, I have sinned, for I did not know you stood in the way against me. And now, and now, if evil is in your eyes, let me turn back. And the messenger of Yahweh said to Balaam, Go with the men, but only the word that I speak to you that you speak. Balaam then went with the heads of Balak, and when Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went out to meet him at the city of Moab, which is on the border at the Arnon, which was in the extremity of the border. And Balak said to Balaam, Did I not urgently send to you, calling for you? Why did you not come to me? Am I not able to esteem you? And Balaam said to Balak, See, I have come to you. Now, am I at all able to say somewhat? The word that Elohim puts in my mouth, that I speak. And Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath Hutzoth. And Balak slaughtered cattle and sheep, and he sent some to Balaam and to the heads who were with him. And it came to be in the morning that Balak took Balaam and brought him to the high places of Baal, of Baal, and from there he saw the extremity of the camp. And Balaam said to Balak, Build 7 slaughter places for me here, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me here. And Balak did as Balaam had spoken, and Balak and Balaam offered a bull and a ram on each slaughter place. Balaam then said to Balak, Stand by your ascending offering, and let me go on. It might be that Yahweh does come to meet me, and whatever he shows me, I shall declare to you. And he went to a bare height. And Elohim came to Balaam, and he said to him, I have prepared the 7 slaughter places, and I have offered on each slaughter place a bull and a ram. And Yahweh put a word in the mouth of Balaam, and said, Return to Balak, and this is what you say. And he returned to him, and saw him standing by his ascending offering, he and all the heads of Moab. And he took up his proverb and said, Balak, the sovereign of Moab, has brought me from Aram, from the mountains of the east. Come, curse Jacob for me, and come, rage at Israel. How do I curse whom El has not cursed? And how do I rage at whom Yahweh has not raged? For from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I observe him. Look, a people dwelling alone, not reckoning itself among the nations. Who shall count the dust of Jacob, and the number of 1/4 of Israel? Let me die the death of the upright, and let my end be like his. And Balak said to Balaam, What have you done to me? I took you to curse my enemies, and look, you have kept on blessing. And he answered and said, Should I not take head to speak what Yahweh has put in my mouth? And Balak said to him, Please come with me to another place, from where you see them. You only see the extremity, but not all of them. Curse them for me from there. And he took him to the field of Shophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 slaughter places, and offered a bull and a ram on each slaughter place. And he said to Balak, Stand here to your ascending offering while I meet over there. And Yahweh came to Balaam, and put a word in his mouth, and said, Go back to Balak, and say this. So he went to him, and saw him standing by his ascending offering, and the heads of Moab with him. And Balak asked him, What did Yahweh say? And he took up his proverb, and said, Rise up, Balak, and hear. Listen to me, son of Tispor. El is not a man to lie, nor a son of man to repent. He has said, and would he not do it? Or spoken, and would not confirm it? See, I have received to bless, and he has blessed. I do not reverse it. He has looked upon wickedness in Jacob. He has not looked upon wickedness in Jacob, nor has he seen trouble in Israel. Yahweh, his Elohim, is with him, and the shout of a sovereign is in him. El, who brought them out of Mitzrayim, is for them like the horns of a wild ox. For there is no sorcery against Jacob, nor is there any divination against Israel. Now it is said to Jacob and to Israel, What has El done? Look, a people rise like a lioness and lifts itself up like a lion. It lies not down until it devours the prey and drinks the blood of the slain. And Balak said to Balaam, Do not curse them at all, nor bless them at all. And Balaam answered and said to Balak, Have I not spoken to you, saying, All that Yahweh speaks, that I do? And Balak said to Balaam, Please come, let me take you to another place. It might be in the eyes of Elohim that you curse them from me there. And Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, that overlooks the wasteland. And Balaam said to Balak, Build 7 slaughter places for me here, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me here. And Balak did as Balaam had said, and offered a bull and a ram on each slaughter place. I know it sounds crazy. Like, bro, how many times are we going to do this? Like, the man said no. Like, it's not going to change. How often are we doing this in our own lives? Food for thought. Chapter 24. And when Balaam saw that it pleased Yahweh to bless Israel, he did not go as at other times to seek to use sorcery, but he set his face toward the wilderness. And Balaam lifted his eyes and saw Israel encamped according to their tribes. And the spirit of Elohim came upon him, and he took up his proverb and said, The saying of Balaam, son of Beor, and the saying of the man whose eyes are opened, the saying of him who hears the words of El, who sees the vision of the Almighty, who falls down with eyes open wide. How good are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel, like wadis that stretch out, like gardens by a river, like aloes planted by Yahweh, like cedars beside water. He makes water flow from his buckets, and his seed is in many waters. His sovereign is higher than Agag, and his reign is exalted. El, who brought him out of Mitzrayim, is for them like the horns of a wild ox. He devours nations, his enemies, and he breaks their bones, and with his arrows he smites. He bowed down, he lay down like a lion, and like a lion he would rouse who would rouse him. Blessed is he who blesses you, and cursed is he who curses you. Then the displeasure of Balak burned against Balaam, and he struck his hands together. Balak then said to Balaam, I summon you to curse my enemies, and see, you have kept on blessing these 3 times. And now flee to your place. I said I would greatly esteem you, and see, Yahweh has kept you back from esteem. And Balaam said to Balak, Did I not also speak to your messengers whom you sent to me, saying, If Balak should give me his house filled with silver and gold, I am unable to go beyond the word of Yahweh, to do either good or evil of my own heart. What Yahweh speaks, that I speak. And now, see, I am going to my people. Come, let me advise you what this people is going to do to your people in the latter days. And he took up his proverb and said, The saying of Balaam, son of Beor, and the saying of the man whose eyes are open, the saying of him who hears the words of El, and knows the knowledge of the Most High, who sees the vision of the Almighty, who falls down with eyes open wide. I see him, but not now. I observe him, but not near. A star shall come out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and shall destroy all the sons of Seth. And Edom shall be a possession, and Seir shall be a possession. Enemies, and Israel is doing mightily. And Israel is doing mightily, yeah. And out of Jacob one shall rule, and destroy the remnant from Ar. He then looked at Amalek, and he took up his proverb, and said, Amalek was first among the nations, but his latter end is to perish forever. He then looked on the Canaanites, and he took up his proverb, and said, Firm is your dwelling place, and your nest is set in the rock. But Canaan is to be burned. Till when does Ashur keep you captive? And he took up his proverb, and said, Oh, who does live when El does this? And the ships shall come from the coast of Kittim, and they shall afflict Ashur, and afflict ever, and so shall he also perish. And Balaam arose and left, and returned to his place, and Balak also went his way. And Israel dwelt in Shittim, and the people began to whore with the daughters of Moab, and they invited the people to the slaughterings of their mighty ones, and the people ate and bowed down to their mighty ones. Thus Israel was joined to Baal Peor, and the displeasure of Yahweh burned against Israel. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Take all the leaders of the people and hang them up before Yahweh, before the sun, so that the burning displeasure of Yahweh turns away from Israel. And Moshe said to the judges of Israel, Each one of you kill his men who were joined to Baal Peor. And see, one of the children of Israel came and brought to his brothers a Midianite woman before the eyes of Moshe, before the eyes of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping at the door of the tent of appointment. And when Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation, and took a spear in his hand, and he went after the man of Israel into the tent, and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman, through her belly. Thus the plague among the children of Israel came to a stop. Did I miss something there? Line 9 in. Let me make sure I didn't skip something. Well, I suppose technically you're not supposed to be there. I've heard it said that they were doing, um, they were knowing each other there. Maybe that's later. We'll see that. But and it's in Deuteronomy when they retell it. I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep going. And those who died in the plague were 24,000. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, has turned back my wrath from the children of Israel, because he was ardent with my ardor in their midst, so that I did not consume the children of Israel in my ardor. Therefore say, See, I am giving him my covenant of peace, and it shall be to him and to his seed after him a covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was ardent for his Elohim, and made atonement for the children of Israel. And the name of the man of Israel was who was struck with the Midianite woman was Zimri, son of Salu, Elier, of father's house among the Shemonites. And the name of the Midianite woman who was struck was Cosbi, the daughter of Shur. He was head of the people of the father's house of Midian. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Distress the Midianites, and you shall strike them, for they distressed you, and with their tricks, with which they deceived you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cosbi, the daughter of a leader of Midian, their sister, who was struck in the day of the plague because of Peor. Lots going on this one. I don't really want to end it, but it's our 5 chapters. As always, I love you guys. I hope you have a great time, great day. May you be blessed. May God make his face to shine upon you. And I pray for you guys. Stay safe. Shalom, shalom.